Basically, I grew up in a family where my parents believe in God, but they don't go to church. Like, they never forced me to. So it wasn't really a big part of my life. And throughout primary school, like, I developed this thing where I'm compared to my older sister a lot and to a lot of people around me. So I've always had this desire to, like, meet people's expectations of me, or even exceed them, or just be what people want me to be. And when I was about 12, 13 years old, I got into this friendship with these people, and it turned me into someone I didn't want to be. And I turned into someone quite rude and quite, like, unforgiving. But then I started coming here to Firehouse, like, to youth and stuff, and I was like, this is okay, but I don't really know if I'm into it. And then eventually I just made this decision. I was like, this is not the person I want to be. Like, I'm not going to hang around these people. And then grade 8 came along, and I started coming to Firehouse, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I heard about Into the Sun, and I was like, Into the Sun sounds like it might be fun. So I'm going to go and test it out. And, like, I had a lot of friends here, so obviously it was like a social thing. I was more coming for the social than for actually, like, God. I hadn't really experienced him in any way. I was just like, I was keen to find out. And then I went to Into the Sun, and I was saved on that camp. God moved in me in a way that I've never felt it before. Like, that was kind of my deciding factor, where I was like, this is for me. I felt this, like, warmth come over my body, and, like, one of the older ladies in our church, well, not older, but she came up to me and she started praying for me and telling me things about my life that I've never told anyone. So that was kind of my God is here moment. And then after that, later on in that year, I was baptized. Things were going really good, and my relationship with God was, like, on an all-time high. Like, I was praying for people. I was really feeling God. And then I got into this relationship which was unhealthy. It was forceful. I did things that I regret, that I wish I hadn't done, but obviously it happened. It's part of who I am now, and looking at it in hindsight, it has made me stronger. But that relationship brought a lot of anxiety into my life and a lot of depression. And when it ended, I felt very alone, and, like, I didn't know where I stood, where I belonged. And I've struggled with, like, self-worth a lot throughout my childhood and my teenage years and stuff. I've struggled with who I am, where I belong in the world. I've always wanted to meet people's expectations and be this perfect person who didn't have anything wrong with them, when in reality I had a lot going on, but I didn't know how to tell other people that. And then after this relationship ended, there was this winter period in my life. I felt like I couldn't connect with God in the way that I had been before. I felt distant, I felt alone, and I kept trying. I was praying and I was praying and I was praying, but I was trying to fill that void in my heart with other things, people, friends, boys, people who had the wrong intentions for me. And I realized that I can't do that. Like, I need God in my life. And the way I realized this was, I was on camp. I think it was grade 9, my second Into the Sun. And I had someone come up to me with a word, and they said that they see that my heart has a black hole in it, and I can't be filling that with anything else other than God. And that kind of just struck me right there, and I was like, I need to give it all to God. And I did, and he really took care of it. He took care of it, and everything has been not easier, but worth it with God in my life, because I feel like if he wasn't here, I would be a completely different person, and I don't want that, because I also feel like I used to be very regretful about what happened to me, or what I did, or the decisions I made, or what I went through. But now I've realized that my struggle could help me to help someone else. 2 verses that really helped me throughout everything that has happened to me and all the bad times The one is my favorite verse. It's Romans 8 verse 18. It says that the pain that you have been feeling is nothing compared to the joy that is coming. That really just inspires me, that even when times are low and things are going bad, God has a better plan for you and you have eternal life with Him. And the other one is 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. It says that, but He said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And I feel like that is really helpful to anyone who feels weak or like the world is pushing down on them, because that is where God works the most. Even when you don't feel it, that is where God is with you. And looking back at it now, I started my journey with God when I was 14. I'm now 18, and it hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. And I appreciate my family at Firehouse and everyone here at Into the Sun and God and everything that I've learned through this so much. And you should just remember that even though your struggle might not be someone else's struggle, you could help someone with that. Like, your struggle doesn't have to amount to a certain level of pain or something that you've gone through, because there could be someone sitting right next to you who would need to hear what you've been through, and it could help them. I'm Robyne Povey, and I've been found. I love